So like we promised you last week, we've got two big players in the realm of detailing products. We've got Chemical Guys and we've got Adams Polishes. And if you know anything about detailing, these two guys go at it head to head every single time with every single one of their products. Have you used either of them?
Negative.
Negative. Okay, so this is going to be a learning experience for him. For me, I'm a little bit biased. I have used Chemical Guy's Diablo Wheel Cleaner a lot. I've never used Adams Wheel Cleaner, but that's the purposes of this video. So I might learn something today. I might get my heart broken. I might not. We'll see. Let's get started.
Let's go.
Okay, per the instructions on the back of the Diablo Gel Wheel Cleaner, you do have to dilute the solution. So you're going to need a second bottle and a little bit of clean water to do so. We're going to go ahead and spray it on the wheel, a nice thick layer, just to make sure that we get enough on there to be able to show you some good results. On the other side, this is the Adams side, you do have to rinse the wheel first before spraying, and this is again per the instructions on the bottle. Okay, so we're doing two different tests. This first test that you're watching is a simple strength of the product on its own test. This means that we're going to spray the product, we're going to rinse off the product, we're not going to agitate it or use any kind of elbow grease of any kind, and we're gonna see how the product does on its own. This is the Adams Polishes side. As you can see, it looks like it did a good job on its own, and we're gonna go ahead and see the Chemical Guy side now. It looks like that did a pretty good job too. This second test is going to be the same application process as per the directions on the individual bottles, but now we're adding a little bit of elbow grease and we're finally adding the brush. This is going to give us the real world results that we should be expecting when it comes to these wheel cleaners. And we'll go ahead and finish off with a rinse. We want to make sure we get the chemical off, and we're going to go ahead and dry it off with a little bit of air. And now we're going to go ahead and go back and talk about the results. So let's talk about overall the wheel cleaners, what we found. I mean, I think for smell for sure we liked which one better?
Chemical Guys.
Chemical Guys.
Yes.
Okay, so the star goes for Chemical Guys for smell, right? But let's talk about, because you just brought up a good point, when it comes to wheel cleaners, your elbow grease is going to take care of most of that grime anyway, regardless of what chemical you choose to use. So, I mean, how do we even categorize this? How do we...
We could just go with the strength. Like I said, we did the first test where we just spray it on and rinse off and see how clean it comes out.
Okay.
And that test definitely went to Adams Polish.
Yeah, for sure.
So
for sure,
it didn't leave as much residue behind. It definitely, you can see a big difference in how clean the wheel was around the lip and on the face compared to Chemical Guys. So as far as strength, maybe it might be just a little aid to help you clean the wheel a little better without using as much elbow grease.
Okay, so I see what you're saying. So at first, just that chemical by itself has more cleaning strength than Chemical Guys' Diablo, right?
Yes.
Okay. But we know that when it comes to cleaning your wheel, it's not just, you spray on and you rinse off. You do have to get your
Hands
muscles into it and your elbow grease, as you say. So when it came down to that, what did you find?
As far as easy to scrub, the Chemical Guys had more lubricity, like we talked about earlier. So it was definitely easier to get the brush in and out, making sure that I was cleaning the wheel. Where as far as Adams Polishes, it's just like any other soap. Nothing bad, nothing negative about it, but you could definitely feel a difference in how easy it is to clean with the Chemical Guys Diablo.
Okay, so ease of use goes to Chemical Guys, you think? Okay, so another star to Chemical Guys for the ease of use. Let's talk about Adams real quick, because the way that they sell this is they sell it in a way where it's like you expect to see something that you don't always necessarily get. And this could have been our fault in terms of how we used it, but when you spray on an Adams wheel cleaner, it's supposed to go from blue to purple. I didn't really see that.
I saw it on the rotors.
I saw it on the brake rotors.
Probably where we had the most dirt.
Most iron.
Yeah.
I think that's where it is iron contaminants is where it changes the blue to purple. So we didn't have, I think the base was actually already pretty decently clean.
Yeah.
It might have just had a bunch of dust and dirt, and because of that the color change effect didn't really happen. But that's probably actually just a gimmick though, because in terms of cleaning the wheel, it still did its job. But I just needed to make sure that we mentioned that. Other than that, this is a big one priced because so when you get the 16-ounce bottle of Adam's Wheel Cleaner, standard 16 ounce, you're looking at $14.99. Now that's not a bad price. It does its job. It's got a better strength, initially. But here's where you're gonna find most value. Diablo Gel Wheel Cleaner. This stuff, because you have to dilute it, a 16-ounce bottle runs you $13.99, and what that in turn does is it gives you about 5, give or take, my math is probably wrong, but it'll do about 5, I think this is 32 ounces, I don't know for sure, so, but it'll give you like 5 of these with just one 16-ounce bottle for $13.99. So your savings is huge, your value is huge here, compared to something like Adam's Wheel Cleaner.
This is what we use with just cleaning the wheel twice. So as you can see, maybe a fifth of it.
Whereas with Diablo Gel Wheel Cleaner, we started with this and we pretty much used all the way up to here, but we got this entire bottle and we still have a lot left over too for the next wheel. All right, so it's pretty much 3-to-1, so I think we're just gonna call it there. I don't know. It's kind of it's tough. I was actually pretty impressed with how Adams reacted first, but I was very disappointed in the smell. And I'm a big boy, so for me, smell is kind of important because it makes me think of sweet roses and cookies and all that.
You mean cake?
Well, cake, fine cake, and snacks
yeah.
and food and stuff.
Yeah.
But
let's be real here.
Let's be real. So I didn't really like the smell of the fart. I would probably still proceed and buy Chemical Guys. But again, I'm just a regular consumer. I don't know what.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you get more out of the bottle. The difference in the cleaning agent on it by itself doesn't really matter because you have to use the elbow grease to scrub the wheel anyway. So, I mean, by far, I would just buy the Chemical Guys and keep cleaning the wheels many times.
All right, so we're just gonna wrap that up. I don't know what we're doing for next week. So we'll just see you next week, and we'll see.
Peace and love.